Hello and welcome to RQ Streams this Wednesday evening. My name is Anil. How are we all doing today? Hello chat. Welcome. Hey Helen. Hey Autumn. Glad you could all be here with me this afternoon. Hope you're all having a good time wherever it is you are in the world. Um, let's get a little bit of admin out of the way first. For those who may not know me, I am Anil. I am the community manager here at Rusty Quill. We are an entertainment and production company putting out 3 podcasts a week, although one is currently on hiatus. To find out about everything that we do, you can go to our website at www.rustyquill.com. And RQ Streams, this project, we couldn't do without all of your amazing support. And I see that we're already on a level 4 hype train, I think. Oh my lord, you guys, you're all amazing. Like, I know, big heart, I know you'll have been seeing the GIF as well that Mike put in, but wow, we're all, jeez. Oh wow, we're on so generous. Well, as I say, we couldn't do this without your help, your support. Be it either by following the channel, by telling your friends about us, by direct donation in the link down below, or by subscribing on the channel with the link up above, or with all the amazing gift subs, or by cheering with various bits, or by supporting us on Patreon at patreon.com/rustyquill, where you can find a whole bunch of stuff, including behind the scenes stuff and extra bonus material related to the shows that we put out. So let's catch up with some of that generosity, shall we? Thank you very much, German Dacium, for the 5-month resub, saying 5 months. Hello, friends. Raleigh with the 8-month resub. Only 9 years and 4 months to go till the 10-year anniversary. Oh, let's, fingers crossed we're still broadcasting in 10 years. Thank you very much. Hail to the Queen J for the 3-month resub. Can't believe I've been here that long. Hi, friends. Hello to you. Thank you very much, Jessica274, for the 3-month resub with Twitch Prime. Thank you very much, Ex Libris Crow, for the very nice 69 bits. Thank you very much, Are You Here, with the one giving a gift sub to Autumn. Aw, thank you. Thank you, Molietsu, for giving a sub to Etchima. Welcome to the channel, Etchima. Jessica274 also cheered with 100 bits. Thank you very much. And Brave to Fibblethip, thank you very much, Bryn, for the 8-month resub, saying nearly ready for my RQ streams, baby. Molietsu gave out 5 gift subs as well. I'm sorry I missed whoever joined the channel, courtesy of Molietsu. And another gift sub to Mooses Are So Cool, which they are indeed. Thank you very much. And oh my lord, I did not see that. Thank you very much, Hey It's Sam D, for giving out 20 tier 1 community subs. So thank you very much, Hey It's Sam D, and welcome to the channel, everyone from that. Thank you very much, Ex Libris Crow, for the 69 nice bits more. And Brave the Robin, Brave the Fibblethip, not to be outdone, another 5 community gift subs. And another 5 from Molietsu. Oh, wow. Thank you so much, everyone. It is supremely appreciated. All the love and support you give us here on the channel. It's overwhelming. All of our stuff, obviously, is free to air. You don't have to subscribe or donate or give us anything. It is, as I say, much appreciated. But do, in these times, please remember to give responsibly. Please do not go beyond your means to support us. Thank you. Wow. Thank you very much, Arjipper, for the 8-month resub as well, saying heart. Oh. Oh, thank you, everyone. I'm going to do my best to try and keep up with chat as well. So, it looks like the lad battery is empty. Possibly. So, thank you, Doom. I've just come home from work and my brain is still so fried. I heard our content is free to wear. I'm not sure that we're going into a clothing line, although you can, with exclamation mark merch, visit one of our two stores, either on TeePublic or on Redbubble, and get some very fetching RQ merch to wear. There, how about that? How's that for a segue? I don't have my mug with me, so I can't say hot drinks taste better from an RQ mug just yet. Hannah says, how am I doing today? I'm doing pretty well. Got a little bit of a cold, so apologies for any sniffles that you might hear on stream. But I'm doing pretty good. I'm really looking forward to seeing what today throws up. So, what are we doing today? In a slight departure from our usual fare. No games analysis, no games analysis for us today. What we are going to be doing is, since we are now approximately 1 month away from RQ Gaming and Giving, I thought, well, rather Mike thought, we thought, this is a joint venture after all, that it might be nice to have a look back at RQ, some clips from charity events past, and do a bit of a reaction to them. So, and a bit of a commentary, because obviously I've been there for all the RQ Gaming Givings that we have done so far, plus one of the bonus pre-RQGG shows that took place. One that has been, I think, two that have now been sadly lost to the ages. And give you a bit of a history, a bit of a behind-the-scenes info, and react to some clips. So, my fantastic community assistant, Autumn, has compiled a bunch of clips from the 2017 through 2019 shows, most of which I'm unlikely to have seen before. So all of these clips are more or less sight unseen. And it's possible that I may have been there for some of them, but given that I was actually likely, if I wasn't participating in the games, I was often either looking after the comms team or taking a rest or in the back room talking to folks. So there are large chunks of at least 2018 and 2019 that I haven't actually seen at all. One says, I can't promise these are good. We will see. I'm not entirely sure how this is going to work. I think I've got this set up to show off Twitch clips and YouTube okay. But we are probably going to be feeling away as we go along, since this is the first time I'm doing something like this. Pendle says, sometimes your Bryn laugh could be heard in some clips. Yeah, I mean, I was in the audience for some of them. Zalia Kamira says, not going to lie, I remember very little of the actual show from RQGG 2019. Yeah, this is
You're fabulous.
2019. So 2017 I would have seen most of, and I think I've watched all of it back. 2018, not so much. I think I probably saw about half of the show. 2019, apart from the bits that I was in, I saw very little of that. But let's give you a bit of a potted history about that, because there may be people here who don't know what RQGG is. So, RQGG stands for Rusty Quill Gaming and Giving, and this is an annual charity stream that we have done for the last 3 years, officially, at least under the RQGG banner, to raise money for Mind, the mental health charity. They are they're probably the biggest UK based charity for dealing with mental health issues. And mental health and mental health support is a topic that is very dear to many of the crew, very close. Many of us have either talked about or have mental health issues, or have suffered from mental health issues. I myself, anxiety and depression have both featured very heavily in my past, and I've talked about this a little bit on stream as well in past shows. so I'm not going to go over that too much today. But as I say, it is a topic and a very important health crisis that is very dear to many of us. Let me drink. Thank you very much, Ex Libris Crow, for another 69 nice bits, and thank you very much, Molietsu, for blazing it across the channel with 420 bits. So that is what it is. This year, whilst it has taken us a little bit longer to work out what we are going to be doing, RQGG 20 will be taking place on the weekend, second weekend of December. That is the 12th and 13th of December 2020, where in previous years we have gone for a 12-hour show. We have been broadcasting usually 10 till 10 or 10. Was it 10 till 10? Did we go 12 hours the first? Yes, we did go 12 hours the first year. Or 11 till 11. This year, we are going for a full 24 hours of streaming on the Rusty Quill channel, bringing you various games and activities from all parts of the RQ crew. This, at least being able to do it online, means that more of our US staff are going to be able to join in and participate and bring their particular brand of fun and jokes to the channel. So, Hyunshim says, please tell me Mike's getting some nap time. Yes, there are naps and things going to be built into the schedule. As Autumn says, the Arcrew crew is going to be getting some rest, and she will be making sure of it. Yes, so 24 hours of gaming, japery, and shenanigans coming your way on this channel, 12th and 13th of December, starting 11 a.m. GMT on Saturday, 12th of December. But going back a little bit, so this project, this venture, is is very much the initiative of Mike. Mike has long been working with Mind since his undergrad days or his postgrad days at university, and he had the idea of doing a charity stream back when he was a YouTuber. And back in 2015, so 2015 was the year that Rusty Quill started. We launched in June of that year with the Rusty Quill Gaming Podcast. And in that year, Mike was still a Let's Player on with his channel Happy Go Lucky Scamps. And he decided that he was going to do a 24-hour fundraiser for Mind, streaming various games over a weekend. And he drafted in a couple of the RQ crew at the time to help him out. I think Bryn joined him for Kerbal Space Program, perhaps. Bryn may be able to confirm that in chat. And I think Lydia and James Ross also took part for a little bit in that. That first show from Mike, I think raised something like £400 or so. And when he came on board with RQ the following year, he pitched the show, and whilst we weren't able to do anything under RQ at the time, because we were still a fledgling company, still trying to work out what it is we were doing. Yeah, Bryn says Helid and James did an hour each at different points during the 24. Yeah. Mike still wanted to do a show in 2016. So he, again, doing it under the Happy Go Lucky Scamps banner, we assembled a crack squad of gamers, which comprised Mike, Martin, myself, Bryn, and Ben, and Layla, who some of you might know. This is Layla Mannings, who was the VA for Manuela Dominguez in the Magnus Archives, the Avatar of the Dark. So the six of us, Martin, me, yeah, six of us, assembled one frosty morn in a living room in a flat in Croydon. Actually, not far from where I was living at the time, to be quite honest. So the video, I think it was the video manager for that show, had a large enough lounge that we could set up a table, put up some lights and cameras, and run the show from there. Oh, hey Martin. Yes, there was a giraffe in one corner. There may be a couple of pictures still surviving from that, but unfortunately I don't believe any of the footage has survived from 2015. Nibbling 3, a living room in a flat in Croydon is a centre that fills with unspecified dread. Fair. So that was 2015, and we set ourselves the target of I think we set ourselves the target of like £1,000 or £1,200 to raise. I think we set ourselves the target of 1,000, and we got about 1,200 for that one, and it was a lot of fun, and it kind of served as a proof of concept for what would be RQGG. So flash forward to 2017, and we are doing this. This is the first official RQGG under that banner, and we all assembled in the RQ studio. And as you will see from some of the clips, and those of you who have seen the 2017 show, which is up on YouTube, the studio isn't the biggest space. The room isn't really designed to hold a lot of people plus equipment plus game. And that was also the year that we were approached by a company that Mike had worked with called Focal Point VR, who wanted to broadcast the whole thing in full 360 vision as well. So we not only did we have the cameras that were broadcasting on Twitch with all of that circuit, but we also had a full 360 VR camera as well. Germination, wait, you didn't get the castle all podcasters get when they start? Oh no, we didn't, alas. We must have forgotten to file the paperwork for that, so it's probably a bit too late. We just have the one studio at Rusty Towers. Rusty Towers was assembled from leftover and stolen bits from other podcasts. I mean, yes, so as you will see, no doubt, from some of the shots when we look at clips from 2017, that room got really crowded. But it was the first year that we had an assistant director, we had camera crew. Well, I say camera crew. We had a video manager. We had runners. I had a full comms team working with me that year. And that was the year that we set ourselves a target of £3,000, which we made. I think that was 3,000. 2018, we decided to go one step further and make this a live event, our very first proper live show. Thank you very much, Joe Mendathium, for giving a gift sub to Martin. Welcome to the channel, Martin. Yeah, so 2018, we decided we were going to move to a live show, so we had a whole bunch of issues sourcing a venue for that. We eventually managed to find a theatre space in South London that was willing to let us rent their room, their hall, for the show, and we had a reasonable response to the to putting out tickets. I think we tentatively put out 30 tickets and sold 28 of them, if I remember correctly. And I think about 5 people on the day didn't actually turn up. So we had a small but enthusiastic crowd. And honestly, it was an amazing experience for putting on our first live event. It was quite a show, and we had people who came from all over, who came from really far afield. I mean, not only were there some folks who came down from Scotland, we had fans in from Romania, from Germany, from the Netherlands, from Belgium, from France. Yeah, Alex's face when Belgium was mentioned was when he realised that we actually had people who had travelled so far to be there. Was amazing, and we are very grateful for everyone who did come that year. So we'll probably be seeing quite a bit from 2018, I think, depending on how much is on the spreadsheet. And it kickstarted a whole bunch of traditions, and I'll talk about some more stuff from behind the scenes as we go on. So 2018, we set ourselves a target of 4,000, and I think we made 4,500 for Mind that year. Mostly 2019 and 2017. Oh, okay. Saving 2018 for Mike then, maybe. Yeah, I think Adina coming from Romania was the furthest that year. And then last year, so last year was weird because of the surge in popularity of Magnus Archives and our shows just generally, and 2019 also being the year that Stella Firma launched. We brought on Tim in 2018 for the 2018 show, even though technically Stella Firma hadn't launched then. He was still just in pre-production, so officially we hadn't really announced him as part of the crew. But yeah, last year, and basing it on the 2018 sales, we underestimated how much how popular they were going to be. So we set ourselves an allotment of, I think, 50 tickets, and I was going to release them in batches, because we released to our patrons first and then to the general public. And I think the first allotment of 20 tickets went in less than 10 minutes. And so yeah, I think in total I managed so there were only supposed to be 2 waves. I had to try and bargain with Mike and the venue in order to be able to get some more tickets and see how far we could push the capacity of the hall. And I think in the end we managed to get up to about 55 tickets, all of which sold in the if I take the three sales windows, I think all of them were sold in less than 20 minutes in total, which was quite a surprise. um, German, please tell me you've learned from that and had the possibility to get into 21. We are not going to be using, if all is well, and touch wood, we are able to do a live event for RQGG 21, which we are all very much hoping that that we can. We will certainly be going for a larger capacity venue. We do have a whole bunch of plans. We have, and like a little bit more of the behind the scenes things here. We were planning for that for this year, obviously. We learnt from our from the popularity and the support, and we were looking, like, plans were well underway in March for us to find a bigger venue, a bigger space to work with. Unfortunately, with the way that the global situation panned out, we had to put those plans on hold. We were still actually, I mean, obviously when the full situation was still not really known, we were hoping that we would actually be able to do some form of live event, but as the year progressed, it became steadily apparent that we wouldn't be able to do a live event, or at least that it wouldn't be safe to do one. So we decided that we would announce relatively early, and I think we did this back in May or June, that we said we were still going to try and do RQGG 20, but it wouldn't be a live event because it was unfair to keep people hanging on, especially if they were going to be coming from so far. And for 2018, like, we had people coming from halfway across, well, from all the way across the other side of the world. Not only did we have folks who travelled from various parts of Europe, I mean, from like Norway, from Germany, from France, etc. We had visitors, like we had someone come from Australia. We had multiple visitors from the USA and from Canada. Yeah. It was a blast last year. I really enjoyed it, but that's also why I didn't manage to see a lot of the show itself while live, because I was actually just chatting in the back room with a lot of folk. Tessa, you try and come for 2021, yay! Assuming that we can do it next year in some form live, we will look to try and announce it as early as possible, so that people who do want to travel can do so. Cassidy, you were writing poems and putting baubles on it. Yeah, more about that in a bit. But we should probably actually, I mean, we're half an hour and I'm literally just finished talking about the history here. So, as I say, for anyone who hasn't seen our shows before, all of 2017, 18 and 19 are up on our YouTube channel if you do want to go and watch those back to get a feel for something of what 2020 might be like. Obviously, it's going to be a bit different given that it's a fully online show and we can't be together. Everyone will have to be basically remotely dialing in. So you can see that, but yeah, let's have a look at something that we've got. So this is going to be a mix of, I've also pulled together a few clips and parts of the show that I was involved in to talk about, and we're going to start with one of those because we're going to look at a game that we played in 2018 and in 2019, which is Codenames, which involves two teams of folks trying to guess the cards and such from a board selection based off various clues. Thank you very much, Bryn, for giving Mike a gift sub. Welcome to the channel, Mike. You now have a very happy cow as well. Thank you very much. Are you here for the 100 bits? So let me grab my headphones so that I can actually hear. Musakul says, "Basic shapes, baby." Yeah, I think that is this bit, this clip. So the clip we're about to look at is me, is the opening of RQGG 2018. With me, Mike, Alex, and Lowry. Mike and Lowry were a team. Alex and I were a team, and this kick-started our us being a team. So let's see if this works. Let's transition to there. And I've whacked this up. I may need to whack the desktop audio up quite a bit. Right, Alex, we're going bold with this one. Round 4.
Round?
Okay. Oh, the big play, the big play.
Okay. Things that are round, I can do that. Now you're in my ballpark. Recognizing basic shapes, not colours. Yes. Okay. There's a round thing.
Yes.
Okay,
good.
Hooray! 1.
All right.
There's a round thing.
Hooray!
Oh, I'm well on board with this game. Oh, this is just lighting up for me. There's a round thing.
Hooray!
What was the number I was given?
You were given 4.
4 more round things. Okay. Gorillas aren't round. Diamonds are a little bit round. Oh, I have lowered the demographic age for this very quick.
Now you've gotten rid of all the obvious rounds.
Wells can be no, you know what? Anil knows me. He's going to pitch really low, which is he's just going to tell me to aim at things that are round. No conceptualizing things that are round. Records are round.
Oh.
No!
Yes.
Records are round,
I'm
Anil.
sorry.
Before that's the roundest thing on there. What? I mean, there's little rounds in there, I suppose.
Okay. All right.
Note to things. Yes, it was the cassette that was the the other round thing. But this basically kicked off mine and Alex's beautiful partnership for playing Codenames. 2018 wasn't our year. Sandor says the cassette. Yeah, because you see, there's all these little there's all these round holes on the cassette. So yeah. So later on in the game, I would give him the I think I gave him the clue 8. No, I'd given him the clue 8 previously, yeah, and he'd guessed the one up in the top right hand corner, and I was trying to get him to guess the cassette because there were 8 circles on it, but obviously that was a little bit of a stretch too far for Alex as well. Me overestimating people's ability to look and recognize things is a bit of a running theme at RQGG. To be fair, Alex was so much worse at giving hint. Yeah, so we didn't do well in 2018. I don't think Alex and I won a single of the games that we played that year, and I think even going so far as we lost to the assassin as well. Didn't you say something, the cassette having a heart was yes, I did actually. So Sazandora says, didn't I say something, the cassette having a heart was a TMA season 4 spoiler? I made a joke about the cassette and the heart being season 4. You know, ostensibly for season 4 being a romance. Before, and this was before I knew anything much about season 4 of Mag. I didn't know that the plot lines were going to go down the making the John Martin romance much more obvious. I said, didn't know. Yeah, I spoke into existence. Obviously, Johnny knew, and obviously Alex knew, but I didn't. I mean, I knew that they were. I will say that at that point, I knew that they were intending to be together, but I didn't know how overt it was going to be. So, flash forward to 2019, I think, and we'll just cover a clip of the code names of that, and then I'll see what Autumn has in store for me. Also some history, because I want to talk about, because me and Alex at these have a bit of history. The Fabulous Comms team will be keeping an eye on the Just Giving page to check all of that. Well, I have a clue.
Excellent. Carry on.
Alex, your first clue.
Oh, your nectar's cracked.
Yeah, sorry, that's really gross.
And do you know what? His nectar's cracked. It got picked up by every microphone.
Sorry.
Yeah, Alex's joints are very loud.
It's a good shape ring. We like ring. Okay. So, as always, we've got to talk through our thought processes here so Anil knows how badly things are going. So, ring. Okay, I see a ring. I'm not pointing it. Like, I see a ring. So that's a good start.
Yep.
I will say at this point, Alex, as is customary, I believe in you.
Every time you say that, we lose. Right. Okay, so...
Oh, look, I've got one too. I just realised what you put on me.
So Ring of Light, leprechauns, maybe the treasure thing.
Mate, who do you ring if you need money? The bank.
Not a leprechaun, I'll tell you that. End lock, hole, a hole could be a type of ring, I guess. Oh, that looks like a wedding. That looks like a, maybe?
What's an alternative to calling someone?
So maybe a ring.
I'm just going
See,
to do something that's
Mike trying to be helpful here.
There we go.
There we are, yeah.
That's a very different thing to what I thought it was. Theatre ring, banana in an ice cube. Just move on.
Pools can have
Okay,
rings.
Bell's ring, that's good.
Just saying.
I've got a stand-up comedian crow, I think.
Yes.
It's the obligatory James Ross stand-in card.
Yes.
Okay, match, ring, yeah. Bag of money, with an inflatable bag of money.
Do you know what happens with an ineffective banana? Rings.
It's true. Robot romance.
It's early, Mike.
That's the other sitcom I'm working on.
Yeah.
Handmaid.
Space 3 and Robot Romance.
I'm fairly certain that's a Handmaid's Tale if everyone was tabaxi.
As niche references go.
I mean, yes, yeah.
I thought I'd take two and smoosh them together. All right, okay. I've got a sense of this, right? Okay, if it isn't this is not on me because there is a key ring here.
Yeah,
Yay! Convoluted, but he got there.
Can anyone remind me of what the number was? Because I already forgot. Three. Okay. Now, weddings do often have rings.
They do.
So I'm going to go with, and again, this isn't on me. We're still in the very obvious phase of the game.
Oh,
That's
yes.
not on me!
Oh, yes.
It's a wedding! It's a wedding! Right.
Oh.
It's a wedding! This is a wedding.
Alex, look, I know I'm the video guy and you work in audio, but that's the distance there that you can.
Very nice close-up of Mike's hand there.
Wedding. That is a wedding.
There you go.
Where people exchange rings.
Calculated risk.
Calculated risk. All right, Beck, that means it's you and me now.
Happening again.
So, calculated risk would effectively be a running gag for the rest of our Codenames career. Yeah, Alex and I don't quite work on the same levels when it comes to when it comes to Codename, which is probably why we make the most amusing of teams. To be fair, 2019 we won out. I think we won 2 out of the 3 games, and the 4 people here were. It was back with me and Alex as a team, and Mike was partnered with Beck Hill, who is a fantastic comedian. Do go and check out her stuff on YouTube as well, and she does some really good stuff, especially with flip charts. I strongly recommend. And yeah, she is lovely. She is absolutely lovely, and has been a headliner at Quantum Leopard, which is James Ross's comedy show, for a good number of years. I'm talking a lot today, so I'm going to have to make sure I am well hydrated. I mean, Codenames is one of those ones where, yeah, it's similar to Dixit in that if you gel with people, then or you can if you know that you share the same level of references, then you were going to get on really well. So my friend Joe, I think I was playing a game with Bryn and my friend Joe, and I think it was Tom. I can't remember exactly who, but because Joe is very much the same age as me and would have known the same level of like television references. I needed to link the words. Green and I needed to link the words green and copper. And if I'd been partnered with Bryn or somebody else who I know has a scientific kind of background, I would have said verdigris, because verdigris is that copper, is the oxidized copper that is blue green in color. But Joe's not a scientist, so what I said was Dixon, because we're of the same age, that the old UK television show Dixon of Dock Green was a detective show, and copper being another word for police. She managed to link green and copper off that. We'll see more about that, because I've got a clip about Dixit as well that I want to show you in a bit. But let's go to some of the blind reacts and see what Autumn has in store for me. Where can okay, so. Okay, this one is 4950 to 5024. Right. So we're going to 2017 here.
Not a leprechaun. I'll tell you that.
Hang on.
Log? Hole there?
Nope, that didn't work. Aha, right, there we go. So it's coming up in the wrong. It's coming up in the wrong thing. So I'm gonna have to copy and paste the links.
I honestly don't remember that.
Okay.
I mean, if you're a werewolf, well played.
Okay, so who have we got on? This is towards the end of 2017, and we've got a game of, I think it's One Night Ultimate Werewolf, and we've got going from the end. We've got Frank, we've got Vaughn, who was our finance officer at the time, Bryn, Alex, and Johnny. So let's have a look. And I'm supposed to go to 5024, right?
Like Vaughn is definitely a
I'm
werewolf.
peeking in at
not
the edge
making
there.
This up. The people on the stream are screaming at you right now.
Revelation! I was the seer. Are you ready for a bombshell? Vaughn, I know nothing about, but Bryn was a mason. Just
Alex,
thought I
why are
would
you-
drop that
why are
bombshell.
you like
Blow this
this?
case wide open.
Thanks for your important
everything.
contribution.
That's everything I got.
Dickhead.
I sat on it as long as I could. I couldn't hold back any longer. That's all I
It's
got.
after the watershed. I can call you
Yeah, you
what
can.
I want now.
Yeah, you can. That's all I got.
You'll have to have recording sessions with him, though.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay. I think Autumn probably put that in here just for Bryn calling Alex a dickhead. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know much about that game. So, as you can, okay. So as you can see, for those of you who haven't seen the interior of the Rusty Towers studio in some shape or form, it's not a very big room, and we've got five people at the table who are pushed right up against the back wall there, and poor Frank sandwiched in the corner, and if you can imagine, so I don't know if the full 360 feed is still up on YouTube, but if it is, you'll be able to see the room in its entirety. The 360 is still available. Yes, so you can see right by the window there is a Christmas tree as well. So that cut off about a foot or a foot and a half of the space between the window and the edge of the table. On the front side of the view, so like off the front here, you've got the cameras. The 360 camera, you can see the overhead camera. I'm pointing at the thing. I'll use the mouse. You can see the overhead camera for the game, for the cards in here. At the front point here was the 360 camera, and literally, 8 inches away from the front of the desk is the computer with the editing desk, and where Joe, different Joe, was our video tech for the day. And I think there were various people lined. We had to have the door open to the studio. It couldn't be closed just because it was so warm. It was so warm. Yeah, Joe, the very stalwart video tech, who was there from who barely left his post. He did say no a lot. Yes, he was awesome. He barely left his post all day. It was astonishing, and we kept the runners were also so really nice, and they kept giving us snacks and such. Okay, so what is the next one? Let me see what let's put on here. So we're going to 5150. Aha, okay.
May I eat your final mince pie, Anil?
Yeah, well, there is one
Oops. May I eat
Audio
your
issue.
final mince pie, Anil?
Yeah, well, there is one down here. I was setting up for later, but you might well have.
Oh, no. May I eat your final mince pie, Anil?
Yeah, well, yeah. Talking of
Oh,
Oh, did you see this? This is lovely, guys. This is a
He
moment.
just picked up another one. He's got more.
He's like, well, there was the one I was saving for later, and then the one I was saving for after that,
Picks
and
up
then
a peg of
the
mince
one
pies.
for after that.
For those of you on the 360 stream, that was incredible.
yeah, look how young we are. So, as I said, as I said before, 2017 was the first time that we had well, actually no, not 2017 was the first time. I mean, we'd had like runners at 2016, but we had a set of runners who kept bringing us food and snacks and drinks throughout the day, and the table got really crowded at times. We were in the middle of a game of Dixit here, and yeah, so I'd taken some of the food off the table, but left the mince pie in front of me. Alex wanted that one. I just reached down and was able to grab the rest of the food. If you go back to the beginning of the 2017 live stream, actually, let's see if we can go back. Let's see if it's caught on camera.
There are so many cameras that in most.
So you can see, like me, Bryn, Alex, Mike, Johnny, and Lydia already crammed into the room there, with a couple of extra people off camera that you can't see. And I don't think that was the most people that we got in there that day. Yeah. Alex just looks young and will for a while. Oh, thank you. And actually, like, so because it was so early, Lydia hadn't actually had breakfast when she arrived. So just started eating cake, because I'd made I'd brought a whole bunch of cake and baked goods for the stream, and yeah, Lydia just started tucking into the what was it that I made? I think it was a raisin, a chocolate chip and raisin gluten-free cake that she just that she was tucking into there. It was very tasty. It was very tasty indeed. So yeah, we're reaching the 1 hour mark, so I'm going to take a quick break here and go and grab myself a hot drink and maybe take my jumper off because it's getting really warm in here. So I think we should get up, stretch your legs, grab a drink, take your meds if necessary, and I will be back in about 5 minutes. Take care, everyone. Everything tastes better from an RQ mug. Hey, folks. I don't know if the mic picked that up, but I just heard Bryn do an almighty boo from the other room. So, welcome back, folks. Hope you managed to refresh yourselves, grab anything that you need. Sell out. Yes, thank you very much. We're going to go back to the clips. So as I say, we are, for anyone who has just joined us, we are having a look at some clips from our charity event, Rusty Quill Gaming and Giving, from years past. I have compiled a couple of bits and pieces to look at and to talk about. And my amazing community assistant, Autumn, has also compiled a few links for me to, I'd say, blind react to. Some of them I probably was there for. Probably a lot of these ones I wasn't. And we will see what moments we have from charity shows past ahead of this year's RQGG 20, which is taking place on the 12th and 13th of December. I've got a couple of things which popped up while we were away. Thank you very much, Ex Libris Crow, for the 69 bits. And thank you very much, Norasaba, for the 7-month resub with Twitch Prime. Thank you very much, Inso. I've made so let's see if we go back to here. I'm going to let you see the spread, the sheet there, because it's going to be easier to click the links that way. So apparently this one follows on straight after the other one. The last one we watched.
Number 1, recursion. Number 1, recursion. Number 2, recursion.
Oh.
Number 1, recursion. Number 2, recursion. Number 3.
Oh god, what
recursion.
have we done? No, please.
Number 1, recursion. Number 2, recursion. Number 3, recursion.
And he's
number
running
4,
with it. He's going.
No, he's
recursion.
got a whole gag.
Number 5, stack overflow error. That was just for you, Martin.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much, DS Lady, for the 5-month resub with Twitch Prime. Oh, I'd forgotten that joke. The Stack Overflow error. So, sometimes, if we were up to it with the Dixit games, we would try and do a little bit of a recap of the clue, and then something amusing to go on with it. And obviously the clue that had been given for this one was recursion. Now, for the... Oh, did I end it a bit early? Oops. I'm sorry, Autumn. I'm messing up all your hard work here. What was the timestamp that you said for that 52:46? Oh, wow. There's still about 20 seconds to go.
Oh, my goodness. All right. Okay. So, guys, recursion.
That was good.
Fine, it was a good joke. Well done.
Was it a good joke? Let us know in the...
Oh, yes. Yeah. So there's an example of one I was there for, but I'd completely forgotten about. Getting a grudging congrats from Johnny, and just actually, I know he's the boss man and everything, but it's really sweet to just see Alex losing it with laughter. Yeah, and Mike trying to do Mike being ever so the consummate Twitch host, and getting chat's involvement. Yeah, everyone did have such a good time, because it was like, speaking from personal reminiscence. It's actually really easy once you're up there and like playing the games, to kind of forget that you've got the audience. And that you're just having a good time with your friends. And I think that's what helps. That's really what actually just helps, like, Invoke with gel the performance, and also, engage with folks who are watching. I can't remember if Dixit was one that we'd played a couple of times. I think we played it 2017, we played it 2018, we played it in 2016, where it got a little bit... We'd played 2 games of it, and it got a little bit fraught. Because I think... And again, I can't quite remember, because going back a bit, and there is no video evidence for this. But in 2016, we played 2 games, one at the top of the stream and one at the end. And I think I won the first game. And when we came back to it at the end, it was looking like I would win the second one as well. And it came down to like one of two, like there was only two goes round more. If only there was. Is there any footage of 2016? I don't know. I thought that the local recordings, I thought the local recordings of that didn't take. I mean, if we do have it, we should probably look to see if we could, pull some clips from it. But I kept nerd sniping you, and Ben got salty. No, I know, fraught in the performer sort of level, but it came down to whether or not we would. I can't remember if it was you or me who was going to try and throw a clue in order to ensure that someone didn't win. And it was a magic related clue. Or did you give me a magic related clue that you knew I was going to get? I can't quite remember. It was something to do with a magic related clue, and I can't quite remember if it was to stop me winning or to stop someone else winning. I dropped 360 link in this. Yes, okay, if the 360 link has been dropped, it is a very small room. Yeah, and I think that was the show. So the main reason that we actually had the 360 camera is partly as a demonstration of Focal Point VR's capabilities, but also because we were trying to go for a record of the longest live stream broadcast in full 360. And we were trying to go for the Guinness for a Guinness record, but we kept running into problems with getting it validated. And because it was starting in to actually do so would have been really expensive, so I think we ended up just dropping it. More clips, yes. Okay, right. So what have we got next on the? Oh no! This is Mount Your Friends. So where am I going to? 1535.
Is there any way?
Right. Mount Your Friends is a video game. That's it. I have nothing more on to say on that. So
Way to get the Ipsos Mori logo imprinted on the speedos, or
Can we get a spin? we probably can.
Come on!
If the developers of this are watching, can we do that? Is that a thing that we can do?
Just mod it in quick.
Yeah, just
Speakers.
Oh, we got headphones.
no.
Come on, Lid. Come on, Lid.
This is
10 seconds. 9.
yeah.
Mount
This
your
is
friends, Lid.
6.
worrying. And
5.
Oh,
Come on, Lid.
this game is concerning. And
Hey, come on.
Oh shit! No, it doesn't.
Yeah, the game is really something for the dangling, the spinning. Yeah. Mount Your Friends is a computer game, not published by Rusty Quill. Yeah. So for all of the RQGGs, we have notionally said that there would be no swearing before the watershed, but that's gone out of the window really early. Yeah. Oh, you say not directed by Alexander J. Newell, but he was very much there. Yeah, we keep saying no swears early, but you can edit out a lot on a podcast. Live is a completely 10 more seconds. Oops, I thought it was 24. You said no 35. I can't read.
Oh idea.
Johnny.
It doesn't like.
Johnny.
Johnny, you ruined it, not me. You
So-
you
All those
ruined it.
Canadian
It
children.
was absolutely your fault. You did
Johnny,
the
you
ruining.
ruined the stream, which is why it's finished.
Yeah, it's now over.
I didn't believe in the heart of the mount. I didn't.
Oh.
I didn't believe in my friends. I didn't mount them.
So are we?
Oh. Ah, Johnny apologising for not mounting his friends. Oh, he's like, no, the people need to hear everyone yell at Johnny. The selection is very pro-bullying Johnny. Johnny is actually a very lovely and contrite guy. It just so happens that he is also the writer and performer in one of the world's most popular horror podcasts. The two are not mutually exclusive. What else do we have for this? Okay, I will try and get the time codes right on this one, Autumn. I will try and get this right. So 325 to 404. Oh, we're back in Billionaire Banshee.
That part was sponsored by Ipsos Mori. Oh, we're on free cam. We're on free cam. Hello.
Oh, check out the t-shirts.
Wait. You can do the trench run.
The OTT t-shirt.
Oh, that's a good idea. Wait, this can be the. Wait.
Yeah,
No, this is
he
the,
knows.
Right.
He knows,
So
he
this
knows.
is the long pan. This is you coming in. Then dive in.
You gotta dive in. It's the-
Oh no.
and then he's doing the trench run. It's like.
Wait, these are little turrets.
Oh no! Look out for the trench.
I did not remember.
Did you appropriately Phantom One
This
music
is-
for the trench run? What's wrong with you?
Because that is the best thing about
What
Phantom
happens
Menace.
when you
That's
give people a
correct.
camera?
What about that bit where Darth Maul gets chopped in half and he's like, what?
Yes, very much. What happens? What happens when you give a bunch of nerds a camera and things that look like a Death Star? I guess. It's very sweet, even if Martin was doing completely the wrong music. Banana Turret is the name of my next ska band. Oh. Massive nerds. We are all massive, wonderful, lovely nerds. I love my colleagues. Oh, Autumn saying that the next one is her favourite. All baubles are miniature Death Star. That's the Doctor Who plot. Okay, so 4340 to 4410.
Right, guys, how are we feeling? You feeling good? You feeling like that?
Yeah.
Pretty good. What are you
Johnny, what are you doing?
breaking the chocolate orange?
He just hit a chocolate orange on his own.
Breaks a
Hello,
chocolate
everyone.
orange on their own head.
Well, this has got lots of equipment on. I don't
You
want
got-
to be whacking the...
It's all that, right?
To
Oh,
be
tough.
fair, everything is covered in soft padding apart from
Yeah.
Johnny's head.
I'm trying to break a
Martin.
chocolate orange.
For some reason, it's not working.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
so
my head hurts now. I'm not going to lie.
I think
In retrospect, a bad idea.
I'll be honest with you. This is a stream first that we've just seen. Not only someone trying to break a chocolate orange on their own head, but Johnny in particular.
Do you want a bit of chocolate orange?
Oh hell yeah!
Salendor, yeah, that's very much a backdrop. There's just more padding behind there. Yeah, trying to actually break a chocolate orange without actually turning the whole lot into chocolate splinters is a very difficult thing. Oh, and what you could actually also see with that one is just how awkward it was to get in and out without, knocking something over. You can get them pre-broken now. Oh, wow. Okay. You're really wondering why the studio had a wooden wall. Yeah, no, the Magnus Archives would sound a lot different if we had one of the walls made of wood in there. I have a specific crop zoomed in clip of Johnny smashing that chocolate orange head. Wow. Okay. What have we got? Alex doesn't believe in his... Oh, Quiplash. Oh, dear. What did he come up with? I can't remember if I was playing this one, if I was downstairs at the time. Oh, hang on.
Look and notice.
What do I want? 10:38 to 11:10. Okay.
I just never want you to be lost,
Boss
John.
is
Follow.
4
Oh,
eels in a
ouch.
suit.
You work at the Rusty Quill!
As someone again, why can't it be both? Yeah, as someone who works.
Someone's
who does a lot of late
discovered
recording with
Alex's-
Alex.
Oh, where's the audience gone? Where's the audience gone? Oh,
Wow!
Oh, everyone believes in your business, Alex.
Except this guy.
Yeah, boy!
Actually, wait, hold on. That was your answer. Are you trying to tell us something?
Hey!
I didn't tell you anything.
Alex, if you've watched the birthday stream, actually, you'll see that Alex has a habit of being very self-deprecating in his answers, particularly when it comes to work and work-related things. So yeah, in hindsight, we should have. We should have guessed that was Alex's. Doesn't he follow that with you correctly inferred?
You just correctly
Everyone
inferred.
made their own.
Oh, he does. Well done, folks in chat. Who was that? Dine on the Rude, who know our material better than us, or at least better than me. I've probably only watched all of this stuff once, if at all. I love the birthday stream where what would be better if Sasha was the archivist and Alex answered the podcast. Yes. Roy says he's ethical, productive, and prosperous. He should rejoice. Alex. No, I mean Alex is super sweet and super self-effacing. Like we couldn't do none of this would be possible without the huge amounts of time, effort, and just sheer business intelligence that Alex has. Like he downplays it, but Alex's business brain is amazing. Sasha as archivist would be the real workplace comedy. The horror in TMA comes entirely from John in a leadership position. You're probably not wrong there, Pokemon and Pancakes. So there's a whole bunch of things in Quiplash that you can probably tell. We probably ought to be better at recognizing what Alex answers are just generally. Yeah. Betrayal. Right. Okay. I've got another clip related to this as well that I want to talk about.
Get 1 extra sanity.
Okay. So what have we got here? So 22:47 to 23:29. Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. That's the end of round 1. How are we feeling,
Oh no,
guys?
that was the start of round 2.
That was the start of round 2.
Round one ended with a bite.
It's really fun
I-
watching you host a game you fundamentally don't understand.
Have lost track.
Round 1 ended with Johnny biting Martin's character.
End of a round. Good time to donate to Mind.
Great time. It's always a great time to donate. to Mind.
I agree.
Just constantly donate.
Don't stop donating.
Frank with the
Don't
wise
stop.
words there.
Donating. Yes,
Although-
guys.
Although, as we learned last year, you might want to not do it entirely repeatedly,
Oh,
as
yeah.
we
We'll break
did
the
break
website.
the site at one point.
So that was
Or,
fantastic. So
Anil.
yes.
You're up.
Okay. I have a movement.
Oh, betrayal at House on the Hill. Frank with the words of wisdom there. Alex's eyebrow is essentially a separate entity. Yeah, I would say that this probably wasn't. Mike, I hope you would agree here. Probably not your finest hosting moment with a game you really did not understand the premise of, and trying so so manfully to keep things like. I will say that Betrayal at House on the Hill is a great game. It is a great board game. It's probably not the best for fast-paced play on a charity stream. I think if you're going to play the game on stream, it needs to be a dedicated stream of itself where you can properly lay out the board. And we patently did not have enough room on that table for the game, especially as it progressed. Frank Hare best here, yes, very much. And it quickly became apparent that because not everyone had played the game before, it makes it more difficult and bogs things down a bit. And I'd actually, I think there's a little bit. Okay, there's one more clip from there. It makes it so it did make the game drag a little bit. I do think that there would be. I do think there is room for us to play it again, assuming that we can all meet up again in the future, or actually do it on Tabletop Simulator, because I wonder there may be a version on Tabletop Simulator that we could play on stream, which would which would make it easier, because it should automate some of it. And I really would like to play it again. And, I joked before the... actually, I'll talk about that bit I joked about in a bit. But let's see what the next clip is, and then I'll take you back to the thing that I want to show you. So, what we've got here. Where am I going to? 3109 to 3124.
There are, there are 2 sides to each one. So
no, hang on, that's the wrong one.
At the bottom, because you took damage from when I bit you.
Yeah, that's right. Why did you bite him?
Because that's what the do.
The card told you to jump off a cliff. Would you do it?
My character would, yes.
Yeah, objectively, yes, I would.
Someone help. You see a cliff and jump from it.
So, whose turn is this now?
I guess it's.
Well, it's gonna. I mean, I think it says.
Does it start on Anil's go, or is it going to be?
I think the traitor may.
Actually, that's just a perfect image to pause on. I mean, oh, poor Mike. So this is the point where the traitor has been revealed, and they're trying to figure out what the heroes have to do in order to proceed. And at this point, I think we're half an hour or more into the game, and this is hour 8. So yeah, we haven't really had much of a chance to rest. But oh, this game! I so really wanted this to go well. But yeah, but you live and learn, and we learned a lot from doing games like this, and for the next year, not least of which was we need to not put as many decorations on the table as we did that year. We went all out, and then learnt that we had to probably rein things back a bit. Have we learned to let people play games they already know yet? Probably still working on that one. Fewer decorations, let's quit it all. Okay, X-Saber's quote. fewer decorations on the table. Yeah, more on the players. Because this was the year also that we triggered the if you donate £10 or more in a thing, I started adding baubles to my glasses. And such. Okay, so I think Autumn has one more clip for 2017, and then I'll do my bit because I'll go back and talk about something from that. This is actually a Twitch clip.
Happy holidays. There you go.
Oh yeah, Bryn got involved as well.
Guys.
How many times have we made a Too Fast, Too Furious in this stream?
Not enough.
Too many times.
Too many times. All right, okay.
Strongly
Furious. Thank you. Ah, thank you.
Yes, Frank.
I have no idea what else fletching could be.
My instinct was the.
Oh my goodness.
Dragon Radar. Yeah, I agree.
Dragon Radar. That was centre middle, which might be.
Yeah.
Playing a difficult mode.
The finger's down.
Have you selected Dragon Radar?
Yeah, they have. They got the
I
finger
don't know.
on.
Is that what I'm pointing to?
Put your finger on it.
Yeah.
Dragon Radar.
Is the assassin?
Oh, yes! Team, we win. By
Turns
default.
out when you
I told you.
Yeah, we're so good
I
at
told
this.
you. By default, is the way I win all my games.
Oh my goodness.
Again, completely forgotten that one. Oh. Smiley 103, how did this come to pass? I don't know. It's what happens when you get all of us in a room. And yeah, Bryn did actually select the one that he meant to select. It was just that it was wrong. So yeah, you can see. Bryn ended up with a whole bunch of baubles adorning him. I did as well. Lydia did as well. Yeah, it was the donation incentive. I think it was £10 got you a bauble, which I think we carried through for 2018 at some point, and then it got out of hand for 2019. Yeah, Frank clipped this one. Hey. I'm just going to take us back to Betrayal at House on the Hill because there is a bit here. What's this? I think I set this up. So let me just play this and see if it's a bit I actually remember it being.
How was Facebook Live?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So I'll play this bit.
Given that I haven't seen the footage, I hope that it is good.
Great.
But that was a very interesting experience.
So,
thank you for that.
Did you
Mike.
like it? Oh, I'm glad. I'm so
going
glad.
to-
Yay.
So, with that, what Mike had agreed with the comms team was that whoever got revealed as the traitor would, because they have to go out of the room in order to read their part of the rule set, because it's a Betrayal at House Hill, for those who don't know, is a game that starts off cooperative, but often ends up asymmetrically antagonistic, in the sense that one of the players will turn out to be a traitor, and that player will then have to work against the rest of the players in order for them to win or to achieve objectives and such like that. So they get a separate booklet to read their part of the rules for what happens next. I had joked prior to this that since we were playing a game with the traitor mechanic, it was almost certain that I was going to be the traitor. If it's Werewolf, if it's Battlestar Galactica, or anything like that, more often than not, I will be the traitor. Turns out this was no different. My first time playing Betrayal on stream, I turned out to be the traitor. Among Us is probably the one thing where I have the lowest traitor rate to date. Alpaca Skeleton, no idea what we're watching past RQGs, but I love this. Thank you. We are watching this kind of like as a prelude to RQGG 20, which is taking place on the 12th and 13th of December. So we're looking at clips that I may probably haven't seen before, and reminiscing. So what I said there was true. So I got taken out. I got led outside so that I could read my part of the rules. And we decided, or thanks to Mike, my comms team had me record the next bit on via Facebook Live to go out to people alongside this stream. Thank you very much, Molietsu, for giving a sub to Alpaca Skeleton. It is most appreciated. Now, I wasn't lying there. I haven't actually looked. I haven't actually watched the that footage from Facebook Live back. I didn't have time to on the day, but here it is, and I think we're going to have a look at it now. Yep.
You are live. Here we are with our traitor from Betrayal House on the Hill, Anil.
Great. So the scenario is called Let Them In. The others called your new friend mad. You thought so too at first, but his slurred words and garbled instructions have suddenly fallen into place, and you understand. The mist you've seen outside the windows, things live there. You know what they want now, and they want in. A thrill of anticipation rushes through you as you wonder what they will do once inside. Your companion yells, "At last! Throw wide the windows!" You obey. So, I'm still in the game as a traitor. I lose any bonuses that my companion card has given me, and I put a token in the room with me. There is a monster token that goes down in the entrance hall, and in each room with an outside facing window. Okay, I'll do this setup when I get back out there. So, I win when all the heroes are dead. And I have to try and do this by letting the spectres in. And they have to try and succeed with an exorcism to banish the spectres. So how I let them in is I open the windows in the front door. Both me and my deranged companion can do this. And is there anything else? And also, once the spectres are active, they can then start to attack the heroes on the monster turn. As can my companion. And they can also discover new rooms. And yeah, so I've got to try and make sure that the spectres, my new friends, who... Friends. Rusty Towers needs to be reclaimed.
Oh yeah. How do you feel about that?
It was inevitable.
Okay, well, best of luck.
Thank you. Oh, yeah. I'd forgotten as well that we'd said that this was Rusty Towers that we were exploring. Yeah, the incongruity of playing a traitor with Santa Deedy Boppers is yeah, festive treachery, the Rusty Quill brand. Yeah, so that was I maintain that the concept works. Again, weirdly drawing focus from what's happening on stream with the traitor stream may not have worked the best way, but we were experimenting. I think we, as I say, we learned a fair bit from all of this. So let me close this down. Let me close that one down. Oh yeah, that's 2018 I'm going to talk about. So that's kind of like a little snippet from Anil can have little A cult as a treat. Moliere, you say that. Come back to me in redacted number of months, and we'll have another word about that, shall we? Probably been asked, but are you wearing the same t-shirt as in the clip? Yes, this is exactly the same t-shirt as I was wearing on that day. I've had this for a while. Pokemon Pancake says, what does that mean? Secrets. It is very much secrets. So, or am I just being needlessly ominous? Because I am the comms guy. Who can say? Oh, thank you very much, everyone who was saying that they would join a cult led by me. That's very sweet of you. Lareism says I wouldn't put that past you, but Enya music. I mean, I do really like Enya. Who can say where the road goes? I mean, I know that was that was pretty much the theme tune to 2011. 2001, I mean. Oh, wow. Going back quite a lot. So we move on to 2018. Oh, okay. Only a couple of clips from 2018. I think, if I remember correctly, I did manage to catch most of this. So let's see. Oh, a Twitch clip again. Oh, from Honey Heist.
What's Jesus' ringtone?
Oh, come, let us adore him. It's pretty, like, selfish,
Oh,
right?
God.
Yeah.
Bloody selfish Jesus.
What?
Yeah, you heard me.
Who is this?
It's your mum.
Okay.
It's Eve. Wait, no, that's not your mum.
Is this your first time insulting a Nephilim? Do you want to try again?
No, I'm putting...
Put someone else on! What? What's going on?
Who are you?
Helen constantly rewriting the Bible. Look, if Dante can do it, if Dante can write basically self-insert Bible fanfic, then we can do the same in a Grant game or something similar. Actually, we tend to do that a lot with Grant when Grant shows up on the show. Oh dear. One moment. Oh, wow. Who among us hasn't tried to build a tower and bite the face of God? Oh, jeez. Oh. Grant shows up and we know that we'll either kiss or kill God. That's fair. That's eminently fair. And you never know which way it's going to go until like the last moment. Jesus usually gets smooched too. Yeah, he does. Oh, okay. Billionaire Banshee. I love the Billionaire Banshee game from 2018 because this is Tim's first appearance on anything RQ, at least to the thing. As I said, Stellar Firma had just begun, Tim. No, don't really. Had just begun production, but this was still all very much behind the scenes. So yeah, Tim appearing in this game was definitely an education for the viewers, and we got to see exactly the kind of dynamic that he and Ben would then showcase in Stellar Firma. 2018 was also, yes, the time that we got "Date Me Brother" as the soundbite, the ubiquitous, ever-enduring soundbite from that year. But let's have a look and see what this one is.
So my quirk is that I definitely focused on one part of it. So my quirk is that I have no pop culture knowledge.
Right.
Yeah. Never seen a TV or radio growing up. Don't know of any music. Never seen that movie you love. And don't have much interest in it. Right. Obviously. But my perk is that I'm great at giving piggyback rides. Where was that? Come on. Carrying you to your first date, obviously. I think it's your fault that you didn't get that. Even to adults, can go super long distances, keep a good walking pace, and I'm a very comfortable ride.
That sounds lovely.
Yes, the innuendo. Such high-pitched voice. Yeah, this is Tim before he grew the beard. Tim sans beard is very much I don't know where I'm going with that sentence actually. He is baby, yes. Before he grew up. Yeah, but the day we all met Tim Meredith and fell in love. Yes, Tim very much endeared himself to folks on that day, and I believe like it very much set the ground for what Stellar Firma was going to be. Martin. Yeah, that was also the day that a bunch of folks met Tim for the very first time. Actually, I mean, I can't remember how many people here have heard it, but like my Tim meeting story goes back to 2012. So like, so the reason that Tim even became part of Rusty Quill, how he knows us, is that his partner Amy knows a bunch of us from student days. So by being part of Student Improv Nottingham, who the story about how like Rusty Quill forms and gets together and ties in with a whole bunch of other friends is a bit more nebulous, and I won't necessarily go into that all now. Tim was in Student Improv Nottingham. Tim led Student Improv Nottingham, as far as I'm aware, for a good chunk. So I believe he knew Alex at uni, but I'm not certain of the time frames there. But back in 2012, I think it was. I didn't know Tim, and I'd never met any of Student Improv Nottingham at the time. Fat Kitten, which was the improv group that James Ross ran, which Bryn and Lydia and Imogen and a number of the VAs from who have appeared in the Magnus archives were all part of. So Steve Violich, who plays Hope and Kurt Anderson, Guy Kelly, who played Mike Crew. They were all members of Fat Kitten at one time or another, and I knew they had performed with Student Improv Nottingham at various points, but they'd usually done the gigs not in London, so I hadn't gone up there. But in 2012, Bryn and I were at a wedding of one of my old school friends, who we both knew, like we played football with and so forth, and we sat down to dinner, and our waiter came along to serve the food, and Bryn exclaimed, "Tim!" And I had no clue, but Bryn recognised our silver service waiter at a wedding of one of my mates as Tim Meredith, and we discovered that this was a summer job for him. He did silver service waiting at this wedding venue, and that was the very first time that I met Tim, yeah, and I wouldn't see Tim again for another couple of years, in any sort of capacity, until he was properly with Student Improv Nottingham and did a show with Fat Kitten. I think it would be 2014, when Fat Kitten did an Edinburgh show called Fat Kitten versus the World, and Student Improv Nottingham were one of the teams that they competed against. The Meredith live right now. Okay, so they're doing a Wednesday stream as well. Aha. So yeah, and then once I got to know Tim better through that, and obviously as part of Rusty Quill, we have become firm friends. Say Tim Meredith 3 times and he'll appear. Yeah. All of the folks that year that we met from Student Improv Nottingham were lovely. Were more or less all of the folks we met that year from Student Improv Nottingham were lovely. He went live by mistake. Oh, Tim. Classic Tim. Okay. What else do we have from 2018? Okay. Oh no. Is that clip is not available? Oh no. Oh, broken link. Oh no. Maybe Autumn will have to we'll find that one and hand that one over to Mike to look at. While we're still on 2018, then I explained a little bit about the way that my mind works when it comes to giving clues for codenames and such, and we go into it a little bit more depth here when we're playing Dixit. So I'll let this round play out for you.
Anil, by the way, you're getting a lot of love for your nails in the Twitch chat. I'm just reading it through now. Anil's nails are fabulous. They're amazing. You guys see this? Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Plus, I color coordinated it with my shirt.
Even better.
Yeah, I'm like that.
Anil, on brand, 100% of the way.
Could you put this down beside you, please?
I can.
Okay, now we will do
For you, Anil. I did it.
Oh my god.
Thank you. How are you coping? I'm cold and I'm under lights. Although these aren't really hot stage lights.
No, we're in the cool blues at the moment.
Martin was video managing that year.
That's the only reason I got into show business.
Actually, Marco, if you could do us a favour, can you give us the red lights of doom, please?
We have
red
lights.
Oh, that feels toasty.
No, these are the nice warm ones.
Yes.
The red lights.
I owned
of
one
doom.
Rusty Quill shirt.
Are we ready?
At the time, that was
There's a
true.
pause.
I own a couple
it's dramatic. Marco's not standing next to the switch. Can you feel the tension? I can. Yay! There we go. Well, you can't really see it. Nice.
Our technical issues are
Anticlimactic
always
fine.
What's
our...
important is that I was here to take part. Not that I necessarily.
I love
understood.
working with Lydia. Lydia is so nice.
So you probably
to
want
work
to try and
with,
keep your cards hidden from the opponent.
Well, don't second guess my tactics.
Okay, so to kick things off, shall I start?
Yes.
Yeah, why don't you kick us off,
Okay,
Anil?
Cool. So I'm going to select a card from my hand. And we will say...
Yeah, the charity nails, the painting we did for the charity nails.
What
on
do
the
you think
Game
he's
Blast
going to
stream
draw?
was
Find
really
out in the next episode. No, it doesn't work like that.
What's the chats? Let's take. Oh,
They're saying toasty, hashtag on point.
Yep, hashtag on point. Yes.
Hashtag nail chat.
Woo. Cool.
Nice. Okay, I have selected a card.
Woo.
I am going to say the clue is time.
Ooh.
Now, I may have gone
All right.
far too broad with this. So, select a card from your hand that you think best illustrates that. And you are hoping to try and get... Ooh, that was a bit of feedback. You are hoping to try and get other people to guess your card.
Nice.
Actually, Mike, could you just pass me the scoring sheet from down there? I just need to refresh my memory on the exact...
This one?
Yes, thank you very much.
There you go.
I missed... was it Martin or
right,
Marco
okay.
who
I'm not
was,
entirely certain. I'm
was
just going
putting
to
up
put a
clues
card
and
down
things on
and
the,
hope for the best.
on the video
All right,
screen?
here we go.
I live in hope.
Yeah. You gotta have faith in these things.
Now,
it's Christmas time, everyone.
Christmas.
It's
faith.
Christmas time.
Christmas
Oh,
miracle.
so,
Exactly. It could
so
be a
many
Christmas
opportunities
miracle
for
if
us
I
to
win
have
this
broken.
game.
Enthusiasm.
Okay.
For us to have
so
broken
is
into
it
song there.
Number 1,
Ooh.
number 2,
Nice.
number 3,
Yeah.
or number 4.
Ooh.
So,
Oh, what a mystery.
Oh, what a mystery.
Goodness, who could it be?
So the three of you secretly place the
Secretly.
place one of the things in whichever
So, chat.
in your
Which
slot that you
side
think
are
one.
we
two,
With the clue being time,
What numbers? My
Yes.
which one do you think it is? We've got, if we go from 1, 2, 3, or 4, the clue is time. Which one do you think the my card is?
Yeah, I know. It's almost like the game developers thought about this before we came.
So this is the Dixit Odyssey version, which comes with this lovely track and allows you to play up to 12 players.
Yep, after
Yeah.
you donated to mine, buy the games.
You buy the games. Why not?
Well, it is a theory of mind game, so
Hey.
you're on point.
Link
I tried to get that joke in every time we play Dixon.
linkages.
Cool. Has everyone
Synergy. Ecosystems.
and other buzzwords?
Oh no, have you dropped your counter? It's the
I
first
lost-
counter drop of the
I
stream,
lost
everyone.
so many counters.
Hey!
Do we have a counter for counter drops?
Yay!
We can
Just don't put me in charge of it.
Okay. Has everyone chosen?
Yep.
develop the counter for counter drops.
Okay, so on 3, we
Yes.
will. You guys reveal your scorecard.
Yes.
Probably best put them over there so people can see.
All right.
1, 2, 3. Woo! Oh, surprisingly, not everyone has gone for number 3.
Yeah, so we had two votes for number 3 and 1 vote for number 2. As you will see,
Yeah!
Honestly, confused by that.
Well, I can see why number 2. Actually, it was number 1.
the reason I said I could see why number 2 would have been picked is because it's the key to time, and that is a Doctor Who reference, and I wouldn't have put it past me in order to have made that reference, but anyone care to hazard a guess as to why I went with number 1 as my card with the clue time before I explain it on camera? Yeah, as you can see, I thought I had gone too broad, but obviously I had gone too niche. And yes, Caitlin Mask, you are exactly right. I love that 2 years later we're still mad at Anil for this. Yep. So.
This is
a clock.
This is children.
How is that time, Anil?
Flying
Is it
into
like
the
the
sky.
herb time?
Because it's the solar system and there are things
The
orbiting.
sense of herbs.
Okay, so a little insight into the way I think here.
Okay.
So,
story time with Anil, everyone.
My original clue was I was thinking Saturn, but that might have been a bit too obvious, what with the rings and all. So I went with time because in Roman mythology, Saturn is the god of time.
Anil, you are like floating at a plane that is so far above.
Everything that we possibly could think of.
I mean, I thought clock.
Yeah, well, I was
And I felt proud.
I was hoping that none of you would actually have something with an actual clock on it because it was
When
a
you give the
calculated
clue of
risk.
time.
Yeah, it was a calculated risk.
Oh God, calculated risk was a phrase I used a lot that day. Anil, this is why Alex yells basic shape. Yes, shy magpie. So you can see when I am playing games like this, I tend to operate on a certain level, which may be somewhat perpendicular to the level that everyone else is trying to is actually trying to play the game on. I think I went really classical with this this year. I think Aphrodite or Athena was another clue that I'd given. And I'd also made a reference to Castle in the Clouds, the song from Les Mis. Look, calculated risk is basically my motto at this point. So yes, that was that's 2018. I've got one more thing from that I'll show towards the end because it's more a clothing thing. And actually, I have just been reminded that, yes, we have hit the 2-hour mark. So before we move on to 2019 clips and I delve into some memories there, I'm going to take another quick break, run a couple of ads. I would suggest get up, stretch your legs, grab yourself some more snacks and drinks and meds if you need. And we will be back in a few minutes. So take care, folks. And I'll be right back. Hello, and we're back. I hope you managed to grab yourself a drink, take a break if you needed, as we head into the final part of our reminiscences here this evening. For anyone new who has just joined us, what we're doing is we're taking a look back at clips from Rusty Quill Gaming and Givings in years past. We've kind of like headed through 2018 and 2019, 2017 and 2018, and we're moving on to 2019 now. These are clips that have been provided to me by my community assistant Autumn, who, and as I said previously, most of these I'm probably not going to have seen before, especially when it comes to 2019. So whilst for 2017 and 2018 I did have a comms team working for me or with me so that I could concentrate on being a performer, 2019 was the first year that I had a fully dedicated team to do things. I'd previously had some fantastic volunteers who gave their time to do so and did some sterling work throughout the show. But unfortunately, like in 2018, one of my assistants there fell ill during the fell ill during the show, and so I ended up having to take over and run the last bit of, almost like the last bit of the stream comms myself. But 2019, I had an amazing team that Zalia and Drut were both part of, and did an amazing job, so that I didn't have to worry about anything comms related for RQG for the show, and it meant that I could just concentrate on talking to people, to performing, to working out the various donation incentives and stretch goals that we were working on. One of which was a impromptu Martin poem, which I wrote from scratch, and Alex performed during the day. And obviously, you can go back and see that. But a lot of it also involved the donation drive of, I think it was for every 15 or 20 pounds that got donated in a single sum, I would add 3 baubles to my outfit. Now, most of these ended up on my top hat, on the top hat that I was wearing, and as we saw in Codenames, I was wearing it throughout the day mostly. That thing got very heavy at the end of the day, but there was also not enough space for all the donations that were made. So I ended up wearing it in wreaths and belts and things. And if you look at, if you catch the final scenes of the 2019 show, you'll just see how adorned I ended up getting. But what it also meant was that I actually spent a lot of time in the back room at the venue. So what we did is we separated out a space at the back of the hall for what was supposedly the quiet area, where there were snacks. People brought loads of food, and people could hang out if they wanted to be a bit quieter and talk to each other rather than necessarily watch the show. I think the Trap Words game shows off the fact how many baubles I'd had at that point, and that wasn't even all of them, because I had to effectively give up at one point. The area where Bryn told us to be quieter. Yeah, I think Bryn did use teacher voice a couple of times during that. So yeah, there was a table where I was basically spent hours fixing, and I think was it Sasha and Lydia also lent a hand to help me out as well. So let us go. Oh God, we're going back to and that note is definitely interesting. We're going back to Mount Your Friends.
Wait. Oh, please. Oh, please. Oh, please.
Oh no, it's worse in 3D.
I've just realised the noises I'm making. No one clip that.
No one clip that. The infamous last words of every Twitch streamer, really. It was clipped at least 3 times. Yeah. Mount Your Friends is a game. Again, not produced or by Rusty Quill or directed by Alexander J. Newell. But well done, Mike, for trying to be enthusiastic for Lowry's attempt. I don't know if you can see, but
please.
I can't remember who it was, but you're able to actually put images of people on their faces, and I can't remember who. It might have been Martin. It probably was Martin. Went through and put RQ crew members' faces on the various models. I think you can see Hannah there. I think that's Mike using the photos that were on the. Oh, that was you. Oh, Mike. I thought that was Martin. So I was going to be sympathetic towards you there, Mike, but obviously, if you're going to crime yourself, Mike crimes mimes. Yes, there we go. Mike can have little a crime as a treat. Yes, I suppose he can now. Oh, an explanation of how Codenames works. Oh, what did we... Or have I already shown this? I may have already shown this.
I guess.
I'm not cluing Beck.
That's true. So you're going to get an elaborate clue, and then they'll say a number after the clue. The clue can only be one word. It has to be one word. So they will say, I don't know, space 3. And that means that 3 things here relate to space.
That's my favourite sitcom. What is Space 3 up to today?
No.
This is the Thanksgiving episode.
One's a human, one's an alien, one's a 60,000-ton starship. The rest of them are
Nails, those probably were mine. Actually, or were they Beck's? That's no moons. Actually, let me see, because they're probably. Oh yeah, those are. Oh yeah, the shimmering ones. Those are Beck's.
What is Space 3 up to today?
I think if I remember correctly, I was wearing. What was I wearing? I was wearing a metallic. Yeah, I was wearing the metallic copper polish that day. So the silvery ones would have been Beck's. Nails. So there are a lot of people with good nail polish that day. Yeah. We did have a fair few folks there whose nails were on point. Do people still say on fleek? Is that still relevant? Was that ever relevant? Am I really showing my age there with slang? It is not anymore. No. Yeah, I can't remember what colour Johnny's were wearing, but yes. Dad energy. Oh. I think it was okay for about 10 minutes, says X Libris Crow. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm going to be I will have new polish for this year's show. If it arrives from America in time, I'm hopefully going to be ordering some. This weekend. German Edition says, Anil, I have no idea, but English is my first language, so you're probably right. I'm probably not, but thank you very much for that. Yes, I will hopefully have some nice chrome nail polish for the show, assuming that shipping times are not going to be too exorbitant. Sumi says fleek rights, just so you know. And yes, fingers crossed does seem an appropriate hope for nail polish. But I think that was actually the first time that I was sharing a performance stage with Beck-Hill. Everything usually because I'm obviously because I'm a poet, I don't often share the stage with comedians very often. And as I say, I adore Beck's work, and yes, she is such a lovely person. So what are we going to do? Alex is given the gift of screaming chocolate. Oh yes.
Fox.
All right.
And then inside we have large. Is this large amounts of chocolate that's screaming at me? Okay, yes, it's screaming chocolate.
Alex, there's one thing
thing I can let you in on, I actually know what that box is because I was teed up for this about a month ago. That scream that you're hearing is a cacophony of all of our fans screaming together in unison.
Johnny the scream.
Alex really did enjoy that box. That was a very lovely gift. And if I'm not mistaken, there are going to be several people who contributed screams to that who are in this chat right now. It was a very personal gift. It was a yes. Actually, I'm desperately sad I wasn't in the fandom in time to contribute. If it ever gets repeated, I don't know. How does it feel to have given Alex your voice in a contract? But yes, I think that box is still somewhere safely in Rusty Towers. But it also did come with an awful lot of chocolate. There was a lot of chocolate that day. I know that I came home, Mike got given, I think it was like a couple of kilos of chocolate were floating around in gifts to the crew that day. We were very definitely caffeinated and sugared. I think it was safe to say by the end of the day. So thank you very much, everyone who contributed to keeping our energy levels up over not only the show but basically the Christmas period. Yeah, I know that I came home with about a kilo's worth of chocolate as well. Fandom make sure people stay well fed. Well chocolated at any rate. Oh, Ben is Elias. Okay, yeah. What have we got here?
I cede control of the universe to my very best friend, Peter Lucas, who was also right. That's from Alistair Stewart. Yeah, well, you're dead now. Fears of the deep unite.
Yeah, I think that was Bryn shouting spoilers from off camera. No, hang on, it wouldn't have been Bryn because Bryn doesn't listen. Maybe it was Johnny. Hang on, let's see who. Can I tell?
Yeah, well, you're dead now.
Huh. Yeah, I think that was Bryn. Because yeah, Johnny wouldn't have been so audible. I think is probably the right way of putting that. Okay, take care, Mike. Thanks for being here and contributing. I look forward to seeing what clips you get given when it's your turn to reminisce. Oh, Bitterkit says he was right next to me. Okay, cool. Loud shouting from the audience, audible from the stage. Definitely Bryn. Oh, Johnny screamed, "You ruined it!" afterwards. Okay. Oh, the little blep from Ben. That's so adorable. I meant in the context of this event, Lady Marion's Grounder. I have heard Johnny on stage. I was there. I was there at the Death of the Mechanisms concert. I was actually filming part of that. The Johnny yell was when he butchered the Cthulhu incantation. Ah, right, okay. But yes, so for anyone wondering, we did a milestone donation drive where I think if you donated £20 or £10, you got to submit a phrase for Ben to read out as Elias, and I curated that list and gave it to Ben to read. So the behind the scenes thing here is that the slot that we allotted for Ben to read out things was only 10 minutes long. Was only you couldn't prompt them and donate. Okay, it was just whatever came through. Oh yeah, sorry. You could It was free to submit, but we needed to hit a certain milestone in order to get Ben to read them. So the aim was that it would be a 10-minute segment, and Ben would just read as many as he could within 10 minutes and stop. That got a little bit miscommunicated, and Ben ended up reading the whole thing. I think it ended up being something like 25 minutes long, for all of the suggestions to get read. We also did have RQG reads as well in that, and I think there's a clip basically of Bryn doing the intro to My Immortal. Cassidy B says, I don't know if you're planning to have Ben as Elias this year, but be aware that we're starved for Elias content. Okay, I'm going to say this now. We are still working on what the stretch goals or what the donation goals are likely to look like in the current circumstance. The likelihood is that they probably won't be the same as last year. We may not be able to do live reads for this. If we can still do them in some way, shape or form, we will try. But I will say don't pin your hopes right now on necessarily getting it read out on the day. We may be able to do this. One of the things that we're looking at is whether or not it may be a pre or a post record. So stay tuned. We really like them, and I think they are really good donation incentives. It's just because this is no longer live, because this is no longer in person, it's going to be harder to do that from a organizational perspective. So obviously we are still working on this, but just be aware that it may end up not being on the day itself. What that does open the option up to is for other characters and other people who may not necessarily be there on the day to actually to take part as well. So it's swings and roundabouts on that front. We are obviously looking to see what we can do. I think Autumn has given me another clip of Ben. Which one is this?
Our mortal enemy, puppies. Hold, our mortal enemy, puppies. That's from Boss Baby Elias. Why is Boss Baby Elias? This is somebody trying to make me pronounce some awful British thing, which I can't do. Featherstone Hall. Oh,
winky face.
Yeah, I think Featherston Hall is supposed to be pronounced Fanshawe. But yes, Boss Baby Elias was definitely a highlight of the day. Yeah, don't ask because it's a very British thing. Yeah, the audience knew. But I don't even know if because I can't remember. It was people could submit, because we did a Google form for people to submit what their suggestions were. Ben getting put in his not passing posh shibboleth placed by the audience there. Yeah. Ben is not posh. I think we have he may play posh. He may play posh on podcast. But I think we are all very much aware of Ben's attitude towards the rich and the aristocratic states. Eat the rich. So thank you very much, Molietsu, for giving a sub to Bad Pun 77. That is much appreciated. Oh no, he doesn't have inner knowledge of the upper classes. How terribly, terribly pro. Nom those posh shackle. Looper, that has to be that's brilliant. Can we yeet the rich? That would be so satisfying. Eat then yeet. So yes, I think I really like, because obviously the Ben as Elias, the Ben reads as Elias, and obviously the other reads as that we did with RQG reads came about because from the previous year people really wanted to hear Elias read Ben as Elias perform Africa, which is a roller coaster ride in of itself. I bless the rains, open brackets, down in Africa, close brackets. That was brilliant. Like go back to the 2018 show, and you can see that it was just the open bracket. Yes. So good. But yes, that proved so popular that we brought it back for 2019. Fog of Love. I did not watch this one back. So whilst I've seen a lot of 2017 and 2018 while watching things back, I haven't really gone back and watched the 2019 show for the bits that I missed.
I don't know who's supposed to go first, but Hannah,
Happy to go
because
first?
I like you more. Basically, you play one of your scenes.
Okay.
Everyone likes Hannah more.
And this will be your kind of what we're doing today, or what argument we had, or you had an affair with my dead best friend Mike.
That escalated really quickly.
The Frank Mike animosity continues there. For those who don't know, Fog of Love. Fog of Love is a game about relationships, and we decided that who better to play the game than Rusty Quill's own married couple of Alex and Hannah, and Frank leapt at the chance, if I remember correctly, to act as the mediator and the moderator for this game. Frank's nails there, also very much on point. And that game got interesting real quickly. I don't know Pokemon Pancakes. I am not party to that information. What can we make happen? Sharkle says we can make this happen, Anil. What? I'm not quite sure what that one... yes, it's the one they played on MacGuffin. Okay, cool. Bad Alex for not making sure that the game was resorted properly. Fleek ain't dead. Yep, cool. I'm not sure how much I actually want to bring that back. But yes, we can probably say that the whole game was on fleek. There was so much overrunning on after this. I think after this we played a kind of like a quick fire round of elimination coup to end the show. Such as this.
Forgive me for being anti-meme. I'm going to lessen your stacks, Sasha.
They're no longer dummy thick.
They may be even thick with one C. Got more of a reaction than that joke deserved. Thank you. It's been a long day.
Alex there, always happy to be anti-meme. Lid at the top of a voice saying that they're no longer dummy thick. Yes. I think that joke effectively got repeated in RQ Gaming at a later stage. I think when Hamid uses his bracers to transmute his outfit. But the showdown between Lydia and Sasha, like Lydia and Sasha together are always a great combination. They do work wonderfully together. I mean, all of my colleagues are a joy to behold them to perform. Frank just instantly murdering people. Yeah, so what we had was like quickfire eliminations with a rotating cast in order to try and get the final games done and bring us back on track. What have we got here? Alex. Alex Law.
I think the last vaguely country thing I did was...
was what?
I think it was carrying lots of dead birds.
Can you not say carrying dead birds while you're revealing your chest to the entire stream?
Donate to mine.
Donate to mine.
Donate to mine.
I really hadn't seen that one. Oh, Alex. Oh. Yeah, I think that one deserves to be seen again, really.
I'm trying to think. I think the last vaguely country thing I did was...
was what?
I think it was carrying lots of dead birds.
Can you not say carrying dead birds while you're revealing your chest to the entire stream?
Donate to mine.
Donate to mine.
Donate to mine.
I don't know why he was wearing that hat, why he had rolled his sleeves up on the t-shirt. But, so what he was attempting to do was apply some temporary tattoos that said mind on them that we had been given and had a huge stack of. And I think we set a donation goal of if you donate, anyone who donated £50 in one go got to assign a person to get a temporary tattoo. And weirdly enough, more people went for Alex. Oh, Bittercape, you made the hat. Oh, wow. Yes. And he had just opened it. Okay. Yeah, the audience voted for him to get 3 tattoos. Yeah, people went. I was expecting more people to vote for to give tattoos to Johnny, but obviously they wanted to see Alex. So yes, I think he had 1 on each arm, and he decided that the 3rd place it should go, rather than say the side of his neck or his cheek, was his chest. So yeah. But it's just the width. I don't know how much would have. I mean, obviously the shots are what we got, but yeah, those angles are not almost make it look worse than it actually is. Yeah, I mean, obviously Alex made the call, but yeah. Whilst talking about dead birds, so what have we got here?
So, trans rights!
Yay!
And also, trans rights. Oh, it's you. Oh no.
I lied. When Passions Collide is my favourite book.
Vindication!
Oh.
That one, I think, is from
Helen's vindication really sets that one off. Oh, so nicely. Perfection. I wish we'd actually had the camera pulled back on that, to be fair. Oh. Brenanza, was that you? Vindication! I don't have quite the same level of resonance, but yes, Helen is indeed very much a joy to behold when it comes to this. Let's have that. Let's have that one again.
I lied. When Passions Collide is my favourite book. That one, I think, is from
Yeah, Ben was also very happy about that one. Oh, I've had a hydrate. Thank you very much, Rubik's Link, sir. And ooh, we have an Alistair clip. Go back.
Hashtag draw one.
Hashtag.
I'm going to play a bin bag of weasels, so I get to draw another card.
Ooh.
Very nice.
A whole bin bag of weasels.
Excellent.
Nice.
Go, Alistair.
Okay, so I'm drawing one.
It's the creepy murder husband.
I'm not the creepy one. I'm the adorable one.
That makes it worse.
Yes, it does. It makes it so much worse.
I need to go. Actually, I really need to go back and watch that. So, for anyone who doesn't know, who we had on stage there was Alistair Stewart, who's the VA for Peter Lucas. Lydia, of course, VA for Melanie King. Frank, VA for Basira Hussain. And at the end, Karen Cronfley, who is the VA for Simon Fairchild. I have to say, that was the first time I was meeting... actually, no, I think it was the second time I was meeting Kareem. And like Kareem is such a joy to work with. He is a lovely, lovely guy. Obviously Alistair is as well. But yeah, Kareem as Simon Fairchild is just superb. He also appeared in the Trap Words game that I played. I can't remember. I think I was paired with Ben in that game, and Hannah was paired with Kareem. And we had, whilst probably not the most amusing of rounds, it was very definitely a highbrow highlight of my RQGG 2019. And Kareem, I think, from what I remember, or from what I remember being told, he's very good at Jackbox. Yes, I would very definitely like to do more with Kareem if we can. I was with Hannah, and Ben and Kareem were together. Aha! Thank you very much, NEW21. Remember the session of that game where Part just managed to prevent Tim from playing for 10 minutes? Ooh. Yes. And obviously, a fabulous voice actor with plenty of audio drama credits to his name. Do go check it out. You can find him on Twitter at BullshotUK as well. But yes, Alistair as adorable murder husband, Peter Lucas. If you are a patron, then look forward to a new Rusty bit coming out in not this week, next week, which has some more Alistair content for you. Imogen?
To do the podcast. So that wasn't in character.
Never get to stop. Okay, who would you? Goodness.
I don't understand what's happening.
But I think it involves the phrase meow.
Like a cat.
Like a cat.
Like a cat.
But strangely a mummy cat.
Who would you stab and
I'd
why?
Why? Well, I'd stab all of Extinction Rebellion.
Right, yes, but why?
They threaten my very existence with...
I hadn't seen that. Oh wow. I can definitely see why folks would be flustered at that. That was a yeah. Let's
do the podcast. So that wasn't in character.
Never get to stop. Okay, who would you? Goodness.
I don't understand what's happening.
But I think it involves the phrase meow.
Like a cat.
Like a cat.
Like a cat.
But strangely a mummy cat.
Who would you stab and
I'd
why?
Why? Well, I'd stab all of Extinction Rebellion.
Right, yes, but
because
why?
they threaten my very existence with...
If I remember correctly, that's a game of Billionaire Banshee that is taking place. I have to say, like I played Billionaire Banshee in the 2016 show, and I didn't partake after that because it's not that kind of improv is not my strongest suit, and we've got a lot more talented improvisers on the team to take that ahead of me. Yeah, the goodness. I'm pretty sure there are other ways to play Billionaire Banshee other than like blind date, but if there are, we don't really know or want to play them. But yes, okay. Human 5.
Humans do all the time. It's human shit.
I do it sometimes.
Yeah.
Me too, human.
Human 5. Checks out to me.
At your romantic holiday.
Oh, hacker dog, is that what he's trying to be? As I say, 2019, a lot of that passed me by. We're approaching. I've only got a couple more to go. I was going to say I might leave the rest of these mic, but we've only got a few more today. So let's get through these, and then we can wrap this up. I've got one more thing that I want to talk about, and yes. Oh God, more! Oh,
I think he's getting faster and faster.
I think he possibly is.
What happens if you let go at that point?
Let's get some momentum. Let's get some momentum. Are you ready for this, guys? We're going to try and launch Alex out of here.
We're not ready for this.
Here we go. Here we go.
I think it's probably I think we were probably good with the camera positioning there, so we didn't have to see everything spinning as the model got yeeted. You're not seeing things, Piper. Yes. What for one time I will say that positioning really works when it comes to that. The whole less is more on this front. Attack of the Stage Part 2. Oh no. Who felt? When we were gone astray, oh,
Thank you very much, everyone. That is all.
Oh, gee. I mean, I was there. Oh, I mean, you could just about see me hiding at the back there, but that was very dramatic because in 2018 Helen obviously has the best bit because it is just hubris personified, but the stage that we were using is very small. Unfortunately, because of the way the cameras are set up and field of depth and things like that, we didn't actually have a lot of staging space to use. So what we were on were some basically stage blocks that were just large enough to hold, just wide enough for the table, so you could just about get 4 chairs behind it. Which is also why we were very crowded. So even though the room was a lot bigger, the field of view had to be contained because of the way the cameras and such worked or could grasp. So we were still, weirdly enough, very limited by what we could do. Well, what's this one? Oh, I don't like Joke Boat.
Smaller but more dedicated.
Magnus rules RQGG drool.
No one even remembers Stella Phone. Let's go.
It's okay, my family is like Tim. Insufferable and
I know all and I have comments about everything.
Oh, poor Tim. Poor Tim. Tim does take an awful lot of stick. Although whether or not anyone will actually forgive him for things like Date Me Brother and a lot of Stella Firma is yet to be decided. But yes, I think I'm not a fan of Joke Boat, but when you've got people like the other RQ folk playing it, I think it can be good. Like when the prompts work out well, such as like when they were doing the you could hear Ben shouting about RQG versus Magnus. Van Copy said the moisturizer episode, the North remembers. We have it's are the Meredith streaming tonight? Okay, we can probably go raid them after this. Oh Lord, the moisturizer episode. My skincare routine has never been the same since, says Molietsu. Yes, just all of Stella Firma. Tim and Amy are streaming. Okay. Bitcape, is that on Brothers Meredith or is it on Do It Ourselves? Okay, if you're planning on raiding Tim, I would like to ask for a phrase that you know will anger him, like complimenting Johnny and such. He deserves me. Okay. Okay. Well, have a think about a raid phrase then, and we will see about. Actually, yeah, I think rather than that, I think Date Me Brother is probably going to be the best raid phrase for us to use based on what we have been doing tonight. Okay, so we've got a couple more here. What?
Yeah.
Is there more
than a really long time?
Quite possibly.
Yeah.
Is there more
Which is
than
what happened
one
when we tested
pickle?
it.
There is only one pickle in the deck. There's only one
got a
pickle.
single pickle, Tim. It shall be mine.
Oh, you think so, you haunchy bastard? That pickle will be mine, you'll see.
You leave my haunches out of this.
Well then stop doing squats!
I will not.
Speaking of
What's
squats.
happening? It's a lover's tip!
I like the video manager. I mean, it would have been Marco. Just making the stream, making one of the cameras bigger there, just so that we could see all of that play out. Oh, I think I heard about that. Yes, I think people stopped Tim from playing the game for about 5 minutes just by denying him a turn. Yeah, I need to go and watch that actually because I've heard about that but I haven't seen it. Johnny named someone. Oh, Men at Work.
What should we call the?
This side.
What should we call the Michael? Oh no. Well, I lost my rhetoric. Fair enough.
Oh look, Johnny's named someone Michael. Who had 11:30.
Oh.
Okay.
Johnny's naming conventions never come back to bite him. Okay, take care, folks. Yeah, I think Bryn says, I know the memes. I think the names were Michael 2, Helen, and Jennifer. Ah, okay. Nice. Okay, last one of this. Oh, no, I have seen this clip. I know this one.
One thing which I still haven't cleared up. Why are you... Just one thing which I still haven't cleared up. Why are you dressed as a cow? Is it a podcast thing? Is that one of the characters in this Magnus Archives thing I've heard?
Oh, yes.
Sorry, that was a joke. Is there a cow in the Magnus Archives?
Yeah. There's a good cow.
Well, it just comes in and eats through the archives?
That would be probably preferable to what happened.
Oh, is it a scary cow?
No.
Oh, sorry. So can more of you shout at once? Because I nearly heard.
What kind of cow is it, everyone?
Okay. Don't worry about it.
They all get it.
Yeah. It's very much not for me.
I think that's one of the few times I will actually say poor Grant. But yes, because without having been in with that, Holly that asks who is Grant. So Grant is Grant Howitt, games designer and friend of RQ. He has been on a number of the RQ gaming specials. He is the writer, or co-author of games like Goblin Quest, Honey Heist. He wrote both of them himself, but co-writer of things like Spire and Heart. He's also one of the co-writers on the new Paranoia game. But he does a lot of like silly comic RPGs, who things like Honey Heist, Beautiful Space Pirates and such, which we have played on a number of our shows. And also, Visit the North. That was the Sean Bean's Christmas special that we did. So the last 2 years, of course, Sexy Battle Wizards. We have had him. We have had him come in and run a game at RQ Gaming and Giving for the last 2 years, and fingers crossed, Grant will be back for RQGG this year to run another game for us. So we can all look forward to more chaos, as if that weren't expected. I'm going to round out this show with a clip from RQGG 2018, because this was the year that we properly introduced like stretch goals and donations and milestone drives, and where the weight of donations was probably started properly. I mean, obviously we'd had some at 2017, but you'll see what I mean.
We've only got 5 minutes left of the stream.
Is it time for...
So, you know what it's time for. We've hit our donation amount that we required for a specific thing to be done. Anil, can I please have Mr. Anil Godi up on the stage, please? We're doing this thing. Here we go. Anil,
resets the entire...
where is he? Thank you. Anil.
Oh yeah, this was a hunt for me while I got myself ready.
Where?
Yeah.
Man, the chat just loves you.
Correct mysterious sinkhole. All hail Frank.
All hail Frank.
Where is Anil coming from, everyone?
You're spooking him.
Yes, because I'm a very shy and retiring kind of person.
Anil's probably carrying like 3 Christmas trees.
Anil is here!
Wow.
It's Trevor the Tree as well!
All right. Good evening, everyone.
This is a truly astounding level of
Christmas.
Hi, Anil.
So, one of the donation drives we did earlier in the evening was that for every £10 past 3,000, we would adorn someone in festive cheer. Voila. Also, earlier in the evening, Hannah entrusted me with the sacred total that would allow somebody whose donation came closest to it to name a character on Rusty Quill Gaming or on the Magnus Archive at some point next year.
Did you say secret or sacred? First one and the other.
So, Mike.
Hello.
Statement of voting
the figure.
The figure.
I'll do it.
I'll
do it.
there's very limited time to get the statement of Boaty McBoatface into the show, where we've only got 12. Wait, hang on. 187 airs tomorrow, so 13 episodes to go.
Martin, is the one in the Slack I sent you? It's not those.
So,
okay, cool. We'll just do the first bit of that.
the figure.
The figure.
The figure that we were looking for was £13.25.
Coincidentally, we're winning the lottery numbers.
The winner,
It's true, that's not
who
enough
gets to
numbers.
name a character next year, is Seaglass.
Who was actually in the audience that day.
Yeah, come up here. Come up here.
Tuck in.
Wow, 13.25.
Yeah, come and sit here. Come on, come and jump in here. Just be
Oh, I
careful.
forgot.
This is the
Yeah,
danger
Seagrass
chair.
was wearing the Doom shirt as
Don't
All
pull
the
this
chairs
off.
are danger chairs.
Look at this fashion. You too could be this.
And wasn't that a tad prophetic? I will say that that hasn't actually been redeemed.
Got over £3,000. So, I've chosen a carol. Obviously.
Is it one of the fun ones with like murder or like angels descending from heaven with like burning wings?
Not quite, but it is very in keeping with how I am dressed. It is, of course, Oh Christmas Tree.
All right. So just for you, live
we'll
on the
round this
28th
out
March,
with,
we are going to sing Oh Christmas Tree.
The first two verses.
The first two verses.
Yes, because Oh Christmas Tree is public domain. So.
Are you ready, guys? I'll kick it off.
Anil's going to kick it off.
Here we go.
Yes, Johnny not quite getting it until he got the Simpsons reference.
Okay, I know these classic holidays.
So.
Christmas tree, how lovely are thy branches.
As decked with
Christmas tree, oh Christmas tree, how lovely are thy branches. Your boughs are green in summertime, stay bravely green in wintertime. Oh Tannenbaum, oh Christmas tree, how lovely are thy branches.
And there we have it. Yeah, because folks were trying to get lyrics up on their phones because they couldn't quite see the ones on the screen. So, thank you very much for folks being here with me this evening as we trawled through the memory archives for RQGG. Okay, as I said, if you haven't had a chance to watch previous shows, they are all on YouTube. You can go to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Rusty Quill and catch up on all the shenanigans from previous years. Well, at least 2017 to 2019. And a reminder that this is all a prelude to the show that we will be doing this year, a 24-hour stream starting at 11 a.m. on Saturday, 11 a.m. GMT on Saturday the 12th of December 2020, where we will be raising money for multiple charities this year. We are still finalising the details of which charities they are, so we will announce those in due course. But you can look forward to a full day's worth of online streaming gamed content, gaming and other events from us, including various members of the US members of the crew. I hope you found this enjoyable. This was a very interesting thing for me to do. When Mike suggested it, I was a little bit reticent, but it's been really nice going back and reminiscing and pulling out stuff from the memory vaults for you, giving you all a bit of behind the scenes info as well. on stuff that happened. We didn't even cover anything like the mince pie smoothie from 2017. Yeah, there were so many more things that we could have talked about. So I think what we'll do is we will raid the Merediths, and I think our raid phrase was going to be "Date Me, Brother." So I'll just wrap up. Thank you very much, everyone who has donated, who has cheered, who has given gift subs. Another what? The mince pie smoothie. Okay, I'll tell this last story, and then we will go and read the thing. So, for those who don't know, because there is a bit of a confusion about what a mince pie actually is. It seems to be a peculiarly European thing. So, a mincemeat pie is this. Mincemeat is a festive concoction of dried fruits and currants and sugar and suet. It's really tasty. It's really sweet. And mince pies are you put this in a pastry case. As a kind of donation goal / forfeit in 2017, well, at least, I mean, Europeans do know what it is, or tend to know what it is, even if they don't actually have them, yeah. What was I saying? So it was a kind of a forfeit for Johnny. I think it was originally for Johnny, yeah. It was like if we reached a certain target, or if Johnny did something, he would be given a mince pie smoothie in order to consume. So what the runners did was they blended a mince pie with some milk and I think some Baileys to give it a bit of an alcoholic kick together. Admittedly, we didn't have a blender, so it wasn't very smooth, as smoothies go. Gave it to Johnny to consume. And this is probably available on the 2017 show at some point. Johnny's face is very much a picture as he tries this. And I think just has a sip. Yes, I think this was what because this was partly a brainchild of Mike's. This is what caused Johnny to kill Tim off in the Magnus archives, or at least issue a threat to do so. Obviously not, but you know. So it is probably on the 2017 clip. Yeah, Baileys, not bay leaves. But I have to say, and I think this is clearer on the 360 footage rather than the main Twitch footage. Since he didn't want to finish it, I took the glass and basically downed the rest of the thing. It was actually quite nice, if a little bit lumpy. Baileys and mince pie go well together. Yeah, it was fine. I mean, come on. You've basically just got sugar and pastry in a glass. It was, yeah. So, yes. There was that incident. Probably best that we didn't cover it in footage form. Yeah, I mean, not the best texture, but flavour-wise, it was good. Alpaca Skeleton says this sounds like it's a horrible seasonal Starbucks. Yeah, I wouldn't put it past UK Starbucks to have done something similar at some point. But anyway, yes, thank you very much, everyone, for being here, for who's donated. It has been an absolute blast looking back at games and japes past. I hope you will all tune in to the show at some point in December. We will be, stay tuned to our social media and such. We'll be talking much more about it in the coming weeks as things get finalised, and we can announce things like special guests, who is playing what games, what times you can catch your favourite RQ crew members on the show. So thank you all for that, and yes, thank you very much to Autumn for putting all of this together, and stay tuned in a couple of weeks, because I think on the, if I remember correctly, on the 21st of November, Saturday the 21st of November, Mike will be back with his regular Saturday stream, and he will be doing the same thing. He'll be looking at clips from through his lens, and I think Autumn will be putting together another set of clips for Mike to react to, yeah, so you have that to look forward to as well. Tune in this weekend, because Mike is not around this weekend. I am taking his slot on Saturday, and I will be here at 3 p.m. GMT, so an hour earlier than usual, to finally go through a playthrough of Crusader Kings 3, now that I have the better computer on which to play it. So we'll be looking at the tutorial and starting a brand new game, hopefully, to take us through this. And then on Sunday, making her debut on RQ streams at 4 p.m. GMT, join community assistant Autumn, she who put all of this together, for a look at roguelikes and bullet hells, as she takes us through Dead Cells and Enter the Gungeon in a 2-game indie special. So that will be at 4 p.m. GMT on Sunday. Thank you very much, Molietsu, for the doubly nice 138 bits. Thank you, Piper, for the 10 bits. And thank you very much, Tafiara, for giving out 10 community gift subs. Ex-Libris Crow with the 69 nice bits. Yes, let's stop talking about yellow cake, because this conversation has been done to death. So, thank you all, and I'm going to sign out here. Thank you all for being with me. I hope you all have a lovely evening. Take care. Okay, and now we are going to go and raid the Brothers Meredith. And remember, the raid phrase is "Date me, brother." So take care, everyone. We will see you over at the Brothers Meredith very shortly.